Grenada, the stage is set. Brilliant minds, fresh perspectives. It's more than competition. It's confidence, creativity, and critical thinking in action. The Grenlec debates, powering bright ideas.
Welcome to the 2025 Grenlec debates. I am your host, Ambrosia Charles, and it's a pleasure to guide you through the second round of the competition, the round of 16. We've seen incredible performances so far, and this match promises to be just as inspiring. The theme for this round is Artificial Intelligence in the Educational Sphere. Those students have had time to research the broad theme. Remember, these debates are impromptu. The motions are drawn today, and teams are given just 30 minutes to prepare without the help of their teachers and coaches. The energy is high, the arguments are ready, so let's get right into it. In this round of 16 matchup, it's Grenada Boys Secondary School versus Hillsborough Secondary School. The motion is, be it resolved that the national education budget should prioritize providing students with access to AI tools.
Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. These timeless words from Nelson Mandela remind us that true education begins with fundamental tools. Honorable judges, worthy opponents, esteemed audience, good day. We debate the moot, be it resolved, that the national education budget should prioritize providing students with access to AI tools. As first speaker for the proposition, I stand firmly in support with the point of alignment with Sustainable Development Goal 4 from the United Nations. My second speaker will then build on this with two additional points. Firstly, the point of bridging inequities and Caribbean precedent. Let me define the key terms as it relates to the moot. AI tools refer to artificial intelligence applications designed for learning, support from AI tools, translators, and research assistants. Budget refers to an estimate or plan of income and expenditure in a given period. Prioritize means to put tasks in order of importance, all according to the Oxford Dictionary. Now to my point. A UNESCO survey 2023 revealed that 64% of teachers in Latin America and the Caribbean believe AI will become central to learning within 5 years. If that is true, denying setting aside an allotted amount of money for these AI tools means violating SDG 4's promise of inclusivity. In the Caribbean, a CARICOM education report 2024 found that over 40% of secondary students already use AI for learning, but poorer students often can't afford subscriptions. Globally, UNESCO has warned that without equitable AI access, education inequality could widen by up to 35% in developing regions. History teaches us that once new technologies, from the printing press to calculators to the internet, were eventually recognized as educational necessities. AI is simply the next step. To deny students this access is to deny them the ability to participate fully in the modern classroom. So, honorable judges, let me be clear. If education is a right, then access to the very AI tools that shape education should be prioritized by the national education budget. AI shouldn't be just a privilege for those who can afford it. It is the textbook for the 21st century. That is why we, the proposition, stand firmly in support of this motion. I thank you.
Good afternoon to the honorable adjudicators, distinguished chair, educated opponents, and attentive audience. Today, we march onto the battlefield armed not with weapons, but truth, logic, and conviction, attacking the motion, be it resolved, that the national educational budget should prioritize providing students with access to AI tools. We, the opposition, stand unassailable in our mission to defend the right and challenge the wrong. As first speaker, I will dissect the motion before us and concatenate our indomitable stance with the missiles of our arguments. These are loss of human connection, mental health and social isolation, and the loss of creativity. My second speaker will wisely wield the over-reliance on AI technology and the ethical and privacy concerns. My cross-examiners will inspect the battlefield with precision, and my rebuttal speaker will refute the proposition's claims. We accept the definitions given by the proposition. However, we pose our own for access and prioritize. According to the Oxford Dictionary, access is a means of entry or approach. And to prioritize is to arrange in order of relative importance. Worthy opponents, AI causes a loss of human connection. The study, Teacher-Student Relationships in the Context of AI 2024 reported that AI applications are challenging the emotional relationship between teachers and students, which is a key factor for educational advancements. Why then should AI be prioritized if it does nothing more than harm to our students? Our minds matter, said a wise human. Words a robot cannot. Proposition. Do you think that our mental health is considered by a robot? Artificial intelligence tools destroy our mental health. A study published in Computers in Human Behavior and Assessment through digital platforms stated that it can increase stress and anxiety. A 2024 study by UNICEF spotlighted that digital tools powered by AI account for 56% of the global health disorder. Then why should it be prioritized over poor infrastructure and poor feeding schemes? Why not account for the students who cannot travel to school in the morning? AI forces students to lose their creativity, making them struggle. AI cannot teach the beauty of imagination. The National Arts Educators Association 2023 warns that the use of AI limits originality and reduces creative diversity. Human teachers inspire discussion, teamwork, and problem solving. Machines, they simply don't. Students are like callaloo leaves in the rain, fragile, full of potential, yet vulnerable. To prioritize AI tools in the national educational budget is to leave our students unsatisfied, starved, mentally drained, and isolated. Let the proposition ensure that no leaf is left soaked through or alone. I thank you.
There can be no keener revelation of a society's soul than the way in which it treats its children. The sagacious words of Nelson Mandela. Honorable adjudicators, most worthy opponents, inquisitive audience. Today, we confront a question that is no larger than technology itself. As second speaker of the most magnanimous proposition teams, I rise with ineffable conviction and clarity to substantiate the motion, be it resolved that the national education budget should prioritize providing students with access to AI tools. With the foundation so resolutely laid by my formidable first speaker, I move on to my first incontrovertible point of bridging inequities. Free AI access ensures that poor students are not left behind. While wealthier peers secure premium tools, education has always been vulnerable to inequality. Students with tutors, extra lessons, or costly resources often enjoy an advantage. If AI is locked behind a paywall, we risk cementing a new digital divide. One where opportunity belongs not only to those who can afford it, but by guaranteeing free access, we balance the scales. AI becomes not a privilege of the few, but a right of many. In doing so, we ensure that brilliance is not measured by the thickness of one's wallet, but by the strength of one's potential. But wait, there's more at stake here. The point of Caribbean precedent. The Caribbean Examination Council has designed its AI literacy system to be free at any point of access, recognizing that knowledge should never be rational by income. This is more than policy, it is principle. It is a declaration that in our region, Education is not for sale. As the late Mandela once reminded us, education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. If that weapon is locked behind cost, then it ceases to be a weapon for justice and instead becomes an instrument of exclusion. Let us be clear, free AI access is not charity. It is not an extra, it is essential. It ensures that the next great Caribbean innovator, thinker, or leader does not stumble at the gates of progress simply because of a financial barrier. And if nothing is done, I thank you.
With protocol already established by my first speaker, good afternoon all. The first line has advanced, and now I take the field to strengthen our defense and press the attack. We, the opposition, stand firm in the attack of the motion, be it resolved that the national education budget should prioritize providing students with access to AI tools. As second speaker, I will fortify our case, reinforce our position, and ensure that every argument from the other side falls flat before the strength of our reasoning. Worthy opponents, over-reliance on AI weakens thinking skills. Why should the national education budget provide students with a tool that can weaken their thinking skills? If we grant students access to AI tools, this can create an over-reliance on technology. Esteemed judges, imagine a classroom where students rely on AI for every explanation, every math problem, and every essay. Instead of learning how to analyze and think critically, students are learning how to click and scroll. Education is about developing the human mind, not integrating students into the use of artificial intelligence. AI tools are not neutral. They collect, store, and analyze massive amounts of personal data. If the national education budget provides students with access to these tools, they are essential for exposing millions of students to privacy breaches. Who ensures that someone's personal information isn't misused, sold, or hacked? By allowing students access to these AI tools, the national education budget risks building an education system that is dependent, vulnerable, and unsafe. Over-reliance on artificial intelligence can limit students' creativity. When everything is made easier and faster by AI, students would miss out on the struggle that builds innovation. Another danger AI poses to students is the erosion of critical thinking skills. Critical thinking is the ability to question, analyze, and evaluate information for ourselves. Esteemed judges, if students are given access to AI tools through the national education budget, they would accept every answer without questioning its accuracy and risk losing the essential skill of critical thinking. Elon Musk said, and I quote, "The danger of AI is much greater than nuclear warheads by a lot," end of quote. Worthy opponent, why should the national education budget provide students? I thank you.
Worthy opponent, the budget for paying the after-hours securities and any extracurriculars is only $4,000. So with such a small budget, should funding AI be prioritized?
Yes, it should, my worthy opponent.
Can you give us reasons why, please, my opponent?
Again, the definition of budget, they set different amount of money for different amount of things, so that when they set budgets for the security, they also set an amount of money for the AI tools, my worthy opponent.
Well, we are speaking of the budget of education, so therefore that is not relevant. Moving on, please. Worthy opponents, 55% of worldwide schools suffer from poor infrastructure. Shouldn't the national education budget focus on this pivotal point of our education system?
Again, with improving that educational structure, that's where the AI tools also play a part, my worthy opponent.
Okay, my opponent, thank you. Worthy opponent, Shouldn't the budget be focused more on implementing better equipment and subject rooms rather than the prioritization of AI, which falls short in 65% of schools, as was stated by the World Economic Forum?
Again, my worthy opponent. The budget, they set different amount of money for different amount of things, my worthy opponent. So when they have a certain amount of money for this, they have a certain amount of money for that.
But we're speaking about the prioritization, which is meaning that AI would be put before the rest. Thank you. Worthy opponents, as artificial intelligence erodes our mental health, shouldn't investments be put into mental health days instead, which would benefit education?
No, it shouldn't, my worthy opponent, because it all depends on how the user uses those AI tools. Not assuming that AI would reduce our mental health or put it in a decline is just assuming. That doesn't mean it's actually going to happen.
But worthy opponents, AI can perpetuate bias. So if you use the artificial intelligence, no matter how you use it, you will be suspect to bias.
This should negatively affect students. This is why it should not be prioritized. Moving on. Well, the opponent. Your second speaker stated that AI bridges the existing inequalities, but according to a World Economic Forum study report in 2025, AI perpetuates bias to 55% of marginalized students. How do you defend this?
My worthy opponent, that goes back to the users being digitally literate. With being digitally literate, they know right from wrong from the information that is given to them from the AI.
And thank you, my opponent.
Opponents. If internet and libraries are recognized as basic educational resources, why shouldn't AI tools, the modern day library, be treated the same?
Because worthy opponent, there are actual infrastructural libraries in schools. Students can simply go to an encyclopedia. Students could go to a dictionary without the unequal access that would be posed if they were used digitally.
But doesn't libraries help students?
Libraries in real life help students, my opponent. They are more efficient than those of artificial intelligence.
And they provide more credible sources, Melvin.
Moving on to our next question.
My worthy opponent, if 40% of secondary students already use AI for learning, why shouldn't we prioritize funding for the other 60% so that this percentage increases?
Simply because, my worthy opponents, artificial intelligence poses us with a series of disadvantages, which was outlined by my first and second speaker, for example, ethical and privacy concerns and erosion of mental health.
But my worthy opponent, there are privacy policies that ensure that these private information stays private, my worthy opponent, as like two-factor authentication. Next question. If UNESCO has already warned us that without equitable AI access, inequality could widen by 35%, why are you arguing what could happen and not what would happen?
I'm not arguing what could happen. I'm telling you what would happen. Artificial intelligence would erode our mental health, and we would lose our human connectivity simply because we use artificial intelligence in our schoolwork if it is prioritized by the national education budget.
My worthy opponent, you are assuming that it would erode our mental health because this is a stat that says it would widen.
I am stating such because of evidence from the World Economic Forum in 2025 that 60% of students who use artificial intelligence would be over-reliant, as was outlined by my second speaker.
My worthy opponent, that is how the user uses it. Next question. Are you aware that there are policies and security tasks that can make sure their private information stays private?
Actually, my opponent, these safeguards seem to be ineffective because 68% of artificial intelligences who have been given student information have exploited them, which is according to AI in Education 2024.
Which disturbs their mental health, which is why mental health should be prioritized rather than AI.
Thank you, my opponent. Moving on to our next question. Doesn't artificial intelligence promote innovation?
No, it does not promote innovation, as was outlined by my first speaker and second speaker. Artificial intelligence erodes our critical thinking simply because it cannot think critically.
The proposition has fired their shots, but their aim was poor, and their missiles missed the mark of factuality. Honorable judges, worthy opponents, and immaculate audience, my duty today as the rebuttal speaker for the opposition is to finish the battle with a final strike in the attack of the moot. Be it resolved that the national education budget should prioritize providing students with access to AI tools. Your first speaker stated that 67% of students believe AI is central. My first speaker intelligently decapitated this point, saying that with AI students would not be able to sustain their mental health, which is pivotal for being an effective worker. Honorable judges, the second speaker of the proposition stated that AI bridges inequities. My first speaker effortlessly refuted this claim, saying that AI makes emotions unequally evaluated, as it erodes mental health and human connection. My second speaker further decapitated this statement, stating that AI tools are not neutral and exposes students to millions of cases of exploitation. Worthy opponents, your first speaker stated that AI is a fundamental tool. However, my second speaker invalidated this poorly assessed point by highlighting how AI erodes students' critical thinking skills. AI helps, but it is not the key that opens doors. It, in fact, is the lock that keeps the door closed. I thank you.
Good day to all. As rebuttal speaker for the most astounding proposition team present, allow me to make transparent the confusion of my opponent's lackluster arguments so that only the truth prevails. Our opponents have given us a seemingly plausible argument when in fact it is riddled with mistakes. My opponents, your first speaker spoke lusciously on the loss of human connection and creativity that comes from the assistance of AI. AI is meant to strengthen our youth, supply them with the tools necessary to excel. Even if we prioritize this endeavor, how does it lead to the lack of human connection? With the right regulations and standards in place, AI can greatly improve our future's chances. Is it right that we strip away this possibility of progress? AI, when managed correctly, provides more pros than cons. Your second speaker stated an over-reliance on AI causes a decline in critical thinking among students. This is just an assumption. Even with external regulations from educators and teachers, AI would not overtake our creativity or creative liberties. AI only expands our canvas, giving us more creative possibilities. We seem to forget that deadlines and intense workloads exist. AI helps us reach these goals more efficiently. Allow this substance of truth to digest. Food for thought. I thank you.
And the winner is Hillsborough Secondary School. Another round of powerful arguments and sharp perspectives. Thank you for sharing this journey with us, and stay tuned. There's much more to come in the 2025 Grenlec debate.
Grenada, the stage is set. Brilliant minds, fresh perspectives. It's more than competition. It's confidence, creativity, and critical thinking in action. The Grenlec debates, powering bright ideas.